So in this video, we will learn about objects. Objects are data structure. They're just like arrays, but here, for each value, you can have a name property. It's like a reference through which you can access that value. So what do I mean by that? I'll show you a really small example of object. So you can create an object called, let's say I want to create my name object, right? My name. So I will say that my name, I'll create it as object. So whenever you want to create an object, you have to put a variable, and in that, after that, equals, and you put two curly brackets. So in the curly brackets, you write your data of the object. So here I will write my name property. Name is just a property through which I will store whatever value I want to store. Let's say my name, I will write this. That's a really small example of object. It's literally less than basics. So that's how you declare an object. So I can have more objects like my name, my age, and but we want to make an object and make it more complex so that we can access all the properties inside it. What do I mean by that? So you can see the array here. I've created an array in which I have famous league teams in the world, which are like Man United, PSG, and Real Madrid. And let's say I want to access a team in Paris. Like, how do I access that? I don't know which index is it, and because I'll have to go through the array and then write it, right, and then access like, oh, it's a famous league at 01. So I'll have to write like this, like this. I'll have to write, but I don't know which one is it, right? So how do you do that? And also, you cannot give name here, like like you cannot give name like it's in England, right? I cannot give in array like this. You cannot, it will give you error, because array should be of same type, first thing. So for that reason we use object, and I'll show you how to do that. So let's say I will create a constant called famous league teams. So I'll just write team here so that it doesn't mix up, and I'll write a equals and the object. So in this video I'll teach you how to make an object and then make a sub object inside it, and also like complex level objects like arrays and accessing all of them. So stay till the end and you learn everything about objects you need to know. So let's say I have created a concept called famous league teams. Inside that I will create one more object. So this will be a Premier League, right? I'll put a name property called Premier League. It's a key. So left hand side is key and right hand side is value. So you write colon, and after the colon right hand side I can put a value, right? Premier League, right? I can write Man United, but I don't want to do that. I want to make it more complex. So I wrote Premier League, and in this value I will give an object. So this key has an object, this one. In this object I can write more object, or I can write properties now. So I'll start writing properties. So I'll write like properties like famous players, right? Famous player, and right now it's CR7. So I'll write CR7, and I can write more properties like other famous. And you have to, if you want to give another name property, you have write a comma, and then after that you can write another. Like I want to write famous club, right? Famous club in Premier League. Then I'll write Man United. Then I want to write like, is CR7 best player in the world? Then I can put a boolean value which is like true or false. So I can write true here, right? So do you get it what I'm trying to say? In the Premier League, if you want to guess like if you want to get access to best player, you will get true false value. You want to get access to famous club, you will get Man United. So you can get these values like this. You can also put an array inside an object. How do you do that? So let's say I want to write other famous players, right? So you write the property, and then this property will also have an object in it, and you can also give object. But right now we just keep making object. I want to show you example of making an array. So if you want to make an array, you can make an array like this, and inside array you can write strings. So like I can write Kevin De Bruyne, so KDB, and then I'll write like more player like Haaland, and then I can just keep writing player like that. That's just one bit of our object. You can see Premier League. So I can create the whole thing. Like after this I can put comma here, right? And I can create another object, and this time I can write the whole, let's say League 1. Then I can write La Liga. Like it's really easy. Like let's say I want to write League 1, and then I can create one more object, and Do you get it what I'm trying to say? You can just keep making more and more properties, and that's really easy. So this is wrong. What we have to do after this, so we have created object, right? So now you have to write another property. So let's say I want to write league1, and I can create one more object of it here. So you see inside this I can put all the properties of league1, like how I did here, arrays and whatever I need. So same thing, it goes on and goes on and goes on. So that's one of the advantage of using objects. You can keep arrays inside it, you can make object, and let's say I want to access something. Now I will go into log, console.log, and let's say I want to access my whole object, this one. So I'll command C and command V here. So in the console you see I've got an object. When I open this object, I can see an empty object called league1. You can see here because I haven't put anything here, so it's an empty object. And you also see that object doesn't have a length property like array. So now we'll open our second object. Second object is this Premier League. They've just changed the order here, but that doesn't matter. That's one of the thing of object. They don't have order. Now if you open Premier League, you can see all the properties here: famous club, famous player, this one. And then you can see another array here inside this property, other famous players. This has this thing. So you can see this is the array though. So this has a 0 and 1 length property. You can see it too. So now coming to it, let's say I want to access like other famous players in Premier League. So what would I do? You use dot notations. So you write the object name. So our object is this, right? Because it's stored inside this. So I write this and then I write dot. You see it gives me all the properties. So it gives me two objects which are already inside it, like league1 and this. And all these are sub properties of all the objects. You see it says here, if I press key down, it will say me. This is a property, this is property, and these are not properties, these are named properties like key and value pairs. So you see if I want to access league1 here, I'll get an empty object here. You see? That's how you access any properties inside object using dot notation. So I want to access Premier League. So I write Premier League and I want to get the other famous players in Premier League. So I write this dot again and I click on other famous players. So it will give me array. Inside the array I got KDB and Haaland. Let's say I want to get access to Haaland here. So I'll put this one, and I know Haaland is at second position here. The index is at 1, 0, 1. So I'll write 1. You see I got Haaland. So why did I wrote 1 here? Because array starts from 0 index. So this is 0, this is 1. Now let's say I want to get access to in Premier League the best player. So I will write like famous, this one, famous player. So if I do this, I'll get access to CR7. That's pretty much how you use objects, and the mostly you'll be using object is like this. You will be getting access to your properties in object, and you can use however you want it. So basically pretty much the left hand side is your key, right hand side is your value, and you can make more complex objects like this. You just can keep making it. That's all upon you. Like example, I'll write another object here. I'll give it called I don't know, Premier League. It has like anything, like let's say I have like other object. I'm just writing anything here, and you can also give one more object inside this. And do you get it? More properties. So I can write name and then something here and something, and then give array. Do you get it? That's like really complex level object. And you can keep making it. Depends on your data. If you have got a application where you're taking a form, you're filling up a form like password, everything, you can make an object. You can send the data in the backend and get it back, which we'll learn slowly. Just keep following my videos and subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed it yet. Thank you for watching my video till last, and hope to see you back.